Welcome to this video on basic project management. I opened Atlas already and I start with an empty new library. So basically it is how it looks like when you open Atlas for the first time. So I'm creating a new project now. I'm calling it a tutorial on basic project management. Now I have to click on create. So here the project was created, and now I can add documents to the project. Before I do that, let me just show you the basic motions that we now have to go through based on this graphic. So I'm setting up a single user project. If you work in a team, please visit the video tutorial on how to set up a team project. I can either import data into my Atlas library or I can link files. This is what I would do with large video files, and I can also do it to audio files, but audio files are not necessarily so big. So you see some of the formats here: MP4, MPEG, AV, and the one I'm just have in my sample data is the Windows Media video. If you work in a mixed win Mac setting, or maybe you want to give the project at some point to a supervisor who has a Mac version or whatever, you better use a video format that is compatible also with the Mac version. So the Windows Media video wouldn't be compatible with the Mac version, but for example the MPEG or the MP4. Generally, if you want to work with video, I would first try out one video and see how it plays in Atlas, and whether you're happy with the preview images and so on. We have video tutorials on how to work with video data, so please also visit those. In terms of project management, you need to consider whether you want to import it, because then all the files are duplicated, which is not such a big deal if you have like Word files or maybe 10 PDF. I mean, we usually have enough hard disk space available these days. So you can of course also import those if you want. If you have just a bunch of small video files, you may also as well import those files. So if you import, they are copied and they are managed in what we call the Atlas library. So it's an internal environment where Atlas manages all data files, and if you would look at this library location, there's a bunch of other files as well that Atlas needs for your project. If you link the files, they just remain where they are on your hard disk. So if you consider linking files, also think about a good location where you want to keep your files also over a long period of time. If they're on an external device, just make sure or think about it, then it's referred to like the D drive or the E drive, whatever the drive letter the computer assigns to it. If you move to a different computer, it may be suddenly the E drive, and on your home computer is a D drive. So then you would need to let Atlas know it's no longer the E drive, it's the D drive. So those things are possible, but you have to keep those things in mind. If you link documents to your project, Atlas needs to access the video files somewhere on your computer or on an external device. So also if you have them on your computer locally somewhere and you simply don't want to duplicate them, remember they are linked to your Atlas project, so don't move the files around, because then Atlas looks for these files here and then you have moved them there and then Atlas cannot find them here. Yeah, so there's always ways of relinking, because you then simply have to tell Atlas, well, the files are now here, they're no longer here. But keep those things in mind if you link documents. So once you add documents to your projects, and I will show it, you can link single files, you can also folders. You can do drag and drop. I will go through those various options when I'm back in Atlas. And then you save your project file, and this is in the internal ATLAS.ti environment. And we do recommend that you create a regular backup by exporting the file, and then you have the project bundle file. So this file can be saved somewhere on the cloud, on a server, on an external device. If something happens to your computer, you always have a file to fall back on. And I basically recommend to create such a file after every work session. Yeah, you can continue overwriting the old version, but they have one copy that's external to your computer. So let's go back to Atlas and see how it works. So we do have an option to add documents here, and we can add files or also folders, or here you see the linked option. So let me first show you the file option. So I've put a sample data folder here, and here this is the video file I'm linking a bit later. So now I can select all of these documents or multiple documents by holding down the Control key. So now I just did Control A, selected all of the files, and now I click on open or whatever it is in your language. Now the documents are copied and added into the Atlas library, and they're stamped with a unique ID. So each file now has a unique ID. It's not so important to know about that if you work on a single user project. It's relevant for teamwork because of the unique ID, everybody has to work with a copy of the project. But also think about that if maybe you move around, that you cannot just simply add documents a second time. They will have a second ID and won't be recognized as being the same. So now we have the documents in here, and then you can either access them here via the Project Explorer, or you open the Document Manager, which you can do with a click here, and you open the manager and you see the documents here, and there's a preview for each document. You can start building groups. For example, at this stage, I've set my my options that the managers are open in docked fashion. So it could be in your case that, depending on your settings, that the manager also opens floating. So a document manager can also be opened by double clicking here in the Explorer, and as I had it floated, or I've set it to floating last time now, or just now, it opens again floating. So now I undo everything, so I can show you how to add from folders. So here I'm back in my sample data folder. So I want to add all the data from the sample project. So I select the folder. The documents are added now to my project. Yeah, so I added now the entire folder. So let me show you yet another way. So I open up, or I just move here my Explorer onto the screen. So I can also drag drop a folder onto the screen. Yeah, and then documents are in. Do undo again. So here's my folder. I can also open it up and maybe only drag a single document just onto the screen. Yeah, so I only added one document here to the screen. So these are the various ways of doing that, and you've seen here in my sample data I have a survey here, so it's an Excel file. So if you want to import a survey, you have to use the import option here for surveys. Yeah, and I won't talk much about that because you have to know how to prepare your Excel files. So there's also a video tutorial separately on that, how to import survey data. So the last thing I want to show is now how to link an audio or video file. And here I have my video file that I can now link to the project. Yeah, and now it's gonna produce all these preview images. This usually takes a while. It lets, has done it now. So when you import it, maybe just wait for a bit until the preview images are created. So I'll go to the document manager again, and we see now here the location of that one document that's in the library. And this document now is linked and it's on my D drive, and yeah, and we see the full path where this document is coming from. So now Atlas always picks up the document at this location. If I move it, Atlas won't find it, or won't find it, and it will ask me, I cannot find the document, can you please tell me where it is? So once you added all the document that you want, you click on File Save, or you can also click on the Save icon up here. So now the project is saved, and now you can continue working. And if you're done for the day, you go to Save, to File, and then Export, and then you click on the project bundle file, and now you can export the project. It automatically will have your username and the date, so you always know when this project bundle was created. And this project bundle file could now live also in the Dropbox. Well, my OneDrive is backed up online regularly, plus I have a backup of these folders here as well on an external drive. So you know what your backup situation is on your computer, so please select a location where you can always retrieve that bundle file, even something happens to your computer. Yeah, hard disks can fail, laptops can be stolen. You do want a safe copy of your latest version of your Atlas project. One last thing, if you wonder where that username is coming from, when you first open Atlas, Atlas is picking up the username you are using for your computer, and this is what is used in Atlas. And if you're curious what it is, well, you always can see it, of course, in the manager if you look at the authors. But here under Tools and Support, you can go to the user manager and you see which users are there. The ATLAS.ti user is the default user. And if you don't like it, well, you can create a new user and then switch to another name if you want. Yeah, but automatically the name of your computer user is used. So let me go back to the graphic here to recapture what we just did. So we imported all the image, Word files, PDF files I had in my sample project, and we linked the one video file I had. I saved the project, and then I also created a project bundle file. Well, I didn't click on save, but I showed you how this can be done. So I have a safe backup copy of my project externally from the Atlas environment. So good luck with your projects and never lose your data. Bye.